In America today, we see unrest, social turmoil, press positioning the left versus the right in a political battle that is being fought for what most believe to be the soul of this nation. We all know that the very strengths that were the catalysts to create the most prosperous economic powerhouse the world has ever seen are now the objects of riots, debates, arguments over the unfair advantages that have seemed to create the large gap between the haves and the have-nots of America. Where does this put you? Maybe you're somebody that wants more out of life. You're watching this because you have a dream and you want to understand money to make it happen. You're looking for more than just a job and security. But amongst all this turmoil, it can be easy to think that the best is over. It's easy to think the good times are dead and gone. It's easy to lose your hope and decide that I can no longer get ahead. What if I told you that there's still plenty of money to be made here in America and all over the world? The economy is still growing, and the ground of American capitalism is still fertile enough to sprout your wealth seed and grow it into a giant wealth tree that generations of your family can sit in the shade under and thank you for. You can still build a legacy. And by the end of this film, you'll understand the truth about money and how it's affecting your life. What was your home life like growing up? Chances are if your parents had money problems, or lived life where they talked about their lack of finances all the time, or had arguments over their lack of finances, then right now your life is full of scarcity and fear around money, hoarding pennies, or simply feeling like you're always going to have less than you need. Look, none of us can help how we grew up, or the subconscious programming that may have been ingrained in our mind as a child growing up in a certain household. But it's important to understand how paramount the subconscious thought process is to how we think about ourselves as adults. If you grew up with parents who had fights over money and always talked negative about the idea of becoming financially prosperous, that can have a direct and negative correlation to how you spend, budget, and grow your money today. The other big factor that affects whether we as young Americans think debt is okay is a direct connection to the subconscious programming of how we hear our parents talk about money in our homes growing up. For example, if two children grow up in the same neighborhood with the same middle-class parents right next door to each other, but one parent talks to their kid about their dreams, goals, and aspirations, and their kid says, "Dad, one day I want to live a life where I have a private jet that takes me all over the world." And that father says to that kid, "Son, you can achieve anything that you set your mind to." Versus another son, a friend next door, whose father takes him out on a Sunday drive. When the kid says, "Dad, you know my friend next door talks about one day being wealthy." And that father says to that son, "Well, son, sometimes we all have to grow up." Right there, that mindset shift can keep that one child from ever thinking he can achieve his dreams versus the other child whose dad was supportive of his wealth mindset, even if they both don't know what they said or what it will take to achieve it. The differences are vast in whether they try to achieve those dreams moving forward.
I thought I understood how the loans were going to work when I started, and it's talking about the interest that's securing every day.
Right.
So that's a little scary to look at.
At the same time that college has become more important, it's become so much more expensive and complicated.
They have been referred to as the Henrys, high earners, not rich yet.
A recent study found 60% of these so-called Henrys feel like they're living paycheck to paycheck.
How much debt do you have? Tons?
Not much.
Close to 10,000?
10,000.
$10,000.
12,000.
15,000.
$16,835.
There are hundreds of thousands of well-paid young Americans, millennials and otherwise, just like us, watching this video right now or out there in the world, working away, grinding at what we think is our way to achieve the American dream. The problem is, they're all digging themselves into a deeper and deeper hole that's causing them huge issues down the line, and that issue is debt. We gotta talk about debt and how to kill it. We all believe that it takes money to make money, but that statement's just not true. All the wealthiest people in the world today started with barely any capital, which means you don't need extra to make more. Most of those guys and gals are first-generation wealth creators in their family, and they used what they had at their disposal to work and then build up to what they have now. They did it by actually using less of what they were making to live off of and putting more into what I call a wealth building account. Breaking your money up every pay period by at least the 70-30 principle is how you begin to do this. The 70-30 principle breaks down your money in a way where the majority of your money is used to live your life and get the basic necessities of what you need. The reality of it is most of us need the majority of our income, especially if we're beginning, to live a comfortable lifestyle. The 70-30 principle isn't about making it uncomfortable. It's about making a comfortable way for you to live off of as much as you need, while also maybe cutting and chopping out some of the extras so you can take the 30 and begin to build wealth with it. But you can't do that if you're living off of everything or living beyond your means and lighting up the charge cards like most young Americans do and having a great time because you're young, you want to live for the moment, right? The truth is you really have two choices in life about how you think about your money. You can keep digging the debt hole that you're in deeper and deeper and live for today, or you can stop and begin to dig yourself out of that hole, delay gratification, and by choosing to live differently today, you will get to and earn the ability to live better than you ever dreamed of tomorrow. That's your two choices, and if you want to build wealth, the latter is the only way to build the foundation to true, long-lasting wealth. The simplicity of this is the percentage breakdown. That's what makes it work. That's what makes it so awesome, because it can fit your budget. What we're talking about here is the lion's share of your income being used for what it needs to be used for, which is your lifestyle. It's to allow you to live comfortably while you're also delaying gratification for the crazy things. In the long term, you're building wealth, right? So the 70% goes to the life necessities. You're talking about clothing, shelter, food, your car loan, etc. Because the 70% also pays off what I call controlled debt. And this is debt that a lot of us can't help but get into unless we just happen to be able to figure out a way to live way below our means and then buy a house in cash or buy a car in cash. Most of us have, a mortgage or a car loan, but those things both have set dates of payoff, and because they have set dates of payoff, they're controlled debts. So that's where the 70% goes. Now what's left here is the cool part about this. We're talking the 30% that's left over is then broken down into two different things. The 20% right off the top becomes your wealth tax. That goes directly into your wealth account and it grows. But first, it goes to kill out of control debt. Now what's that? That's your credit cards. That's your medical bills. That's your things that you know do not have a set payoff date. That's the things that have high interest, that are causing you major anxiety and are causing you to not have enough money at the end of your month. You're always running out of money before the end of the month comes. That's what those things cause. And so before we start building wealth, we got to kill that debt. And so that's what that 20% does. Automatically off the bat goes to killing that. Then you have the 10 left over. What does the 10 go to? Well, the 10% goes to what I call a protective account. Now here's the cool thing about that. Once you build up to 3 to 6 months worth of your annual income, then I consider that a minimum, but you do have enough money in that protective account to take care of you if anything were to happen, and it allows you, this protective account allows you that once you pay off that debt to stay out of debt, which is important, right? So now that your wealth tax is paying off your debt, you've got this to keep you out of debt, that 10%. Once your protective account is funded, it can then go to, that 10% can go to rewarding yourself and charities. It's very important that you understand that the laws of the world, you need to sow before you can reap. The reward fund is a huge factor in this equation because it begins to allow you to live the way that you know you're going to get to live eventually. It begins to give you a taste of the good life, and it gets you in the thought process and touching the tangible things that are going to become your life one day. In the end, the truth about money is simple. You need to understand it in order to make the right choices. And you need to make the right choices in order to have money work for you and you not work for it for the rest of your life. See, we both know now that either money can be your blessing or money can be your curse. Either you can chase after it or you can have it work for you. That's the determining factor in the truth about money. You got to understand the mindset, the attitude, and have the work ethic to put the system in place. And now you've seen the system that many, many wealthy people use. It's variable and you need to make it work for you. It's not rigid. Make it fit your life and your goals and your wealth number. I hope you have a wealth number, and if you don't, get with your spouse, write it down. Write down what 5 years in your future is going to look like and what kind of money you want to have to live that lifestyle. With that, I'll see you on the next video. Remember, I do believe in you. I'm your friend in success here on the Rob Review, and I believe that anybody that makes the choice can be young, wealthy, and free in America. And if you're ready to move forward, I suggest you find a financial advisor that suits you, or if you're not ready to make that step, look in the link in the description below, click on it, and it'll take you to a page where you can purchase time with me to sit down, and we'll go through a short course that'll prepare you to be able to sit down with a financial advisor, or go ahead and get the plan working. The 5 pillars of foundational generational wealth building I talk about. And I line them out for you, and I help you line out your budget because I want you to succeed. That's why I've made it extremely affordable. I'd make it free, but nobody takes it seriously when they get it for free. That's why I know that this video isn't going to have as much impact as I'd like it to, but I hope that some of you, I implore some of you to take it seriously and get to work on building your wealth, because you want to be prepared. You never know. Soon winter will come. That's a definite, for real certainty. And you want to be ready with your money prepared to take advantage of the opportunities. I'll see you on the next Rob Review, and until then, guys, prepare for the worst, hope for the best. Look, trust in yourself, believe in yourself, and if you believe in God, trust in His guidance. I'll see you.